Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Brad Horsford. You probably know because you clicked on my channel. Obviously, your boy's the one hosting. This video is going to be emotional. For a reason for me and also a reason for a lot of other people who obviously are a fan of the band. I know it happened a couple of weeks ago and I'm kind of just only just making a video about it now. But it's taken me time to process what's going on and what's been happening. One of my favourite bands are breaking up, which hurts. It actually does. It hurts. Which is ironic because the next reaction I do is actually a song called Hurt. So it's quite ironic, isn't it? That band is Panic at the Disco. So was in bed with my fiance, and she was like, "Panic at the Disco are breaking up," and I went, "What? How? How are they breaking up? It's one person. It's Brendan Urie." She was like, "Yeah, it's Panic have posted something saying that they're not doing anything else." So I was like, switched on my phone and went onto Instagram and saw the message, and I was just in shock completely. I was completely in shock by it, and safe to say I was very emotional that day. That day I was very, very emotional. And I know he's never going to see this video, but I kind of just wanted to talk directly to Brendan and Panic and just say thank you for everything. When I started getting into like emo and like the pop punk style, there was two bands that started it off for me. It was Green Day and Panic. Because I heard the song "This Is Gospel." I was like, this band's pretty cool. They're pretty dope band. And then I just dove deep into albums before because I became a fan in the Too Weird to Live, Too Rare to Die era. And which was what, 2012, 2013. And there's something about the band, there's something about Panic for me that made me comfortable. Made me, I guess. The guy you see in these videos is a character. Like, I play a character on videos. Always energetic, always happy. And it's not the case. Everyone has imperfections. And I kind of learned that from Panic. And through their songs, such as This Is Gospel, such as We're So Starving. I know it's not much of a lyrically gifted song, but it's there. And then like there's always the aspect of, well, my sexuality. Some of you might not know, some of you may know, I am pansexual. So a lot of my friends make jokes about it at work. A lot of them make jokes about it, like the typical jokes. It's like, "Hi, you have sex with pans." I'm like, fuck off, cunt. But it's the fact of, as soon as I heard Girls, Girls, Boys, I was like, ah. And then I watched an interview about Brendan talking about sexuality and how everybody should feel comfortable in themselves, and as a human being, you should feel comfortable. So what was built up inside me came out. And I told my parents I was bi. And they were like, "Well, where did this come from?" And I went, "Panic at the Disco. Brendan Urie, like, helped me." And throughout the years, I've been gifted to say I've seen Panic. I saw Panic on the Pray for the Wicked tour in Manchester. and I'm seeing them again in March on the Viva Las Vengeance tour in Manchester again, which ironically is their final ever show. For now, because we know what bands are like for breaking up and getting back together. And like that show for me was in the Pray for the Wicked tour was beautiful because it felt like I was part of a family. It felt like in the end when I looked around me there was people going through the same struggle of not understanding their sexuality but living it. People who have been classed as the outcasts. People who have been bullied. Panic at the Disco made us feel like we belonged. And I always talk about it with 21 Pilots as well. Like 21 Pilots and Panic are arguably the bands that saved me. And I talk shit about them sometimes. I always have. I always have with Panic. Like, I've always talked shit about them sometimes. Of like they're not a band, it's a one-man group. They're not somebody that is labelled Panic at the Disco, it's just Brendan Urie. But then when I think about it, the name Panic at the Disco is a lot more than just one man. Than just all the people that have been replaced, such as Dallin, such as Spencer, such as Ryan. It's a family. It's a group of people that, in the end, we're a family. We're one massive disgruntled family. And the band, for me, I can't express how much I have respect and love for Panic. For Brendan. Because of him, I've got into so many other bands. Such as The Regrets, who supported 21 Pilots on the Bandito tour. But because I was seeing Panic 3 weeks apart, I was making a note of who the people were. I was like, oh, so 21 Panic have got Arizona and Mo. 21 Pilots have got The Regrets. And I was going through them and I was like, wow, I was going through footage. Because there is a video on my YouTube. If you scroll down, there is a Panic at the Disco tour review. And it's a video. Go watch it. Be lovely. The moment that got me, though, when I saw them, was during the song Girls, Girls, Boys. And there is a lovely human being out there on social medias that makes love hearts. That makes the Panic love hearts. I think I've got one somewhere. I don't know where it is. Give me a second. Let me try and find it. I did have one, but I don't know where it's gone. Oh, it's here. It's actually hanging up. It's this. It's this. And it said, hold up this piece of paper, shine through your phone flashlight during Girls, Girls, Boys. At PATD Hearts, there we go. And it says on the top, love is not a choice. I was like, yeah, it's not. And one thing I've taken away from Brendan as a human being is love who you want. Just be yourself. Nobody can knock you for that. Like, I always say to this day, one of my favourite albums of all time is that A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. And one of my favourite albums to this day, along with like Vessel by 21 Pilots and Hotel Diablo, Machine Gun Kelly, and like Iowa, Slipknot. They're albums that define us, and I think it takes a certain band in this world that can release an album and it defines them. It defines a certain individual that listens to the album. I think it was an Eminem lyric I resonate well with, and it kind of goes for any other band. Of like, if a kid going through a struggle reads a lyric and relates, that's great. I think that's in The Monster, I think. Yeah, I think it's in The Monster with Eminem and Rihanna. And it kind of gave me the outlook on music when going back and reading lyrics from Panic. And going back and reading the lyrics from their first album, which, to be fair, some of the songs made complete fucking no sense. Because that was their first album. And it's still beautiful. It's still a circus-esque style album that you could tune on and just be zoned out. And I think Brendan had that power of his voice. You could put on the album, put your earphones in or headphones on or a speaker and just be out of it for a while. He had that power through his voice. And the fact is, Brendan, Panic, if you're watching or you get a chance to watch, thank you. Because of you, I am me. I know people always say you have it inside you, but that band helped me bring it out. Seeing Brendan's vines, his interviews, made me laugh on the saddest days. Like when my grandma passed away, I turned Panic at the Disco on. When my granddad died last year, I watched Brendan's vines and it got me through it. So, I just want to say to Panic right now, thank you for everything that you have done in music for these last 19 years. You are truly one of the greatest bands to ever grace the emo scene. And I hope someday you do come back. Even if it's not Panic at the Disco, even if it's just Brendan Urie. Because there's fans out there that love you and there's fans out there that need you. So, that's all I've got time for. If you're a fan of Panic and you're watching my videos, let me know your favourite stories. Let me know how you feel about Panic. Let me know how Panic helped you. I'd love to hear it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Look after yourselves, look after each other, stay happy, stay healthy. Peace. Good night.